Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. So it seems as though the crypto market is adding to the market capitalization right now, about 269.7 billion. So several billion added, there are a few billion added since yesterday, but the Bitcoin dominance is still remaining under 70%, right now at 67.6. And you can see this reflected in the prices here. Bitcoin trading at 10,161, Ethereum 216, and XRP 0.294. So we're climbing back up to that 30-cent mark. We dropped down. This is XRP on the daily. Over the last, so we saw a couple of days at the beginning of the week where we saw some gains for XRP, roughly 25% or so. And then yesterday, a bit of a decline, and today we're seeing some downward movement. But guys, I have to keep hitting this point home about volume, because if you know anything about volume, you know a lot more than you probably think you know about technical analysis. Volume is in my opinion, one of the most important indicators to look at. And if you can look down here, see down here, this is the volume. And you can see, so over these first two upward days, a significant volume change from before. Okay, we saw lower volume and then pop, a huge amount of volume. A lot of positive volume coupled with large candlesticks. Okay, so this is exactly what we're seeing here. Means that within the time frame that each candlestick denotes, which in this case is a day, more trading was occurring, denoted by the volume, and that is reflected in a price increase. So large price increase, as you know, the larger the candlesticks, the more the price increase. Now let's look to the downward, and this is where it gets important, because if you look at the volume has stayed roughly the same, so about the same amount of trading. So we're still seeing all that trading happen. But guys, look at the candlestick, smaller body, longer tail. In some of these cases, sometimes we'll have a long wick and a long tail. In this case, just a long tail, but smaller body, smaller than the two previous bodies. So what does that mean? That means that although there was as much trading that was occurring yesterday versus the last couple of days, and yes, it's negative trading because we ended up in the red versus in the green, the price fluctuation wasn't nearly as much to the downside as these two previous days were to the upside. So what that means is that the buyer and seller activity is still at this high level here, but buyers are not getting tired, and although there is a bit of a price decrease, we're still seeing this amount. So and we're seeing this over a couple of days now. So we'll see what happens today. This is today's candlestick, and obviously today is not finished. Volume is still lower here, and this is the size of the candlestick at this moment in time. But as you know, guys, these candlesticks move with the ebb and flow of the market. This is a good sign, though, that this is just a correction and that we will continue seeing an uptick. We will keep our eye on it as we always do. XRP_Crow at Stetus on Twitter. Now, this is the guy you need to go to if you want an XRP community poster. Be a part of a great XRP community poster. Send a DM if you want to be included. Only 5 days left. He updates these posters frequently, and you guys can purchase one. Have them in your office. If you're part of the community, he's got some details down here. High quality gloss paper, A1 format. The poster comes with a durable postal tube. 3 editions, special, standard, and limited. 2 versions, paper and digital. Release date October 2019. So pre-order now and save 30%. I will link this tweet in the description if you guys want to get one of these XRP community posters. Stetus is a great guy. Release date, I don't know if you can see that. Release date Q4 2019. Something we're all waiting for, I think. This from Crypto-XRP at Crypto_XRP. Ripple avoids Securities question in motion to dismiss XRP lawsuit. And so this has been going on for a while now. Ripple has filed a motion to dismiss a lawsuit claiming it violated a U.S. securities law by selling XRP. In a new filing posted early Friday, attorneys for Ripple pushed back on allegations made by XRP purchasers suing the company, its subsidiaries and executives. Notably, the motion to dismiss specifically claims that the plaintiff, Bradley Sustak, does not have standing to file a complaint rather than address claims that Ripple is a security. So essentially what they are saying is that this guy's lawsuit sounds fairly frivolous. In the motion to dismiss, Ripple states that the plaintiff failed to bring a case within 3 years of the initial offering, which would have been 2013, meaning the statute of repose expired, that the plaintiff did not plausibly allege that he purchased XRP during the initial offering, and that the plaintiff did not plausibly allege that any of the defendants actually sold the XRP that he bought. Now, I'm kind of confused here because this says it had to have been within 3 years of the initial offering, which I know Ripple has been around for a while. They're stating here that it's 2013. If you bought XRP in 2013, you obviously would have nothing to cry about today. And I guess this is how their lawyers are kind of getting around this thing. There's all kinds of reasons why we know XRP is not a security, doesn't give you a stake in Ripple, the company, not an investment in that type of way. It's a different kind of investment, not like a traditional stock. But then it says down here, the filing adds that the plaintiff does not claim he bought XRP directly from Ripple or another defendant, but rather he was part of the general public who purchased XRP through transactions in a 2-week period in January 2018, basically at all-time high. And if he had watched the Working Money channel, maybe he wouldn't have made that mistake. Nevertheless, I only started the channel in June 2018, so maybe he still would have made the mistake anyway. But essentially, to the point of this article, a frivolous lawsuit, and Ripple stating, that they want to avoid this and just dismiss this nonsense because it's wasting their time. They are doing bigger things. Obviously, they have to pay lawyers to tend to this nonsense. And quite frankly, this is just a waste of everybody's time, including the legal system. And just to show you, this is just a little example of how serious Ripple is about doing what they're doing. This is from Dilip Rao at Dilip Rao. An employee of Ripple landed at the tube station closest to the Ripple offices in London, also to the Bank of England, of course. The bank station on the tube in London. And this is just to my point. Ripple is making these kinds of partnerships, obviously locating themselves near entities like the Bank of England for their London office. So these guys are serious about what they're doing. They are not cutting corners. They are doing what you do to be successful in business. And especially if you have money, it's easy to do these kinds of things like rent office space near the Bank of England in downtown London. The United States Congress scheduled a new meeting with the SEC officials to discuss cryptocurrency, so this just out as well. Geez, when will this get sorted finally in the United States? With a surge in crypto adoption across the globe, cryptocurrencies have made it to the top of the list for discussions between board members. Just jumping into this article, guys, I do always link all the articles in the description, so if you want to read the full thing, you always can. Other topics for discussion will include traditional stocks and bonds, as well as investment contracts. So they talked a little bit here about the Bitcoin ETF and the rejection of that. Moreover, the discussion will also cover Facebook's Libra, a crypto project that is meant to launch next year. The memorandum from the U.S. House of Representatives Committee on Financial Services revealed specific details. The Libra investment token could amount to a security. So this is interesting. They're saying that the Libra token could amount to a security since it is intended to be sold to investors to fund startup costs and would provide them with dividends. The Libra token itself may also be a security, but Facebook does not intend to pay dividends, and it is unclear if investors would have a reasonable expectation of profit. So didn't think of that. People investing in, well, quote unquote, investing in the Libra token. But it's interesting, you would think that if you wanted to invest in Facebook, that you would buy Facebook stock. But of course, Facebook stock has grown by leaps and bounds. Let me just bring it up here on the daily. That's the hourly. Let me put it here on the daily. Leaps and bounds since its initial release in May 2012, I believe it was. Right now trading at $190 per share. And I remember when it came out, $25. Wasn't interested in buying it at the time because there just wasn't enough history on the chart to know anything about the price movement, but we have been in a significant bull run just overall for the market. Anyway, my point that I was making here was people will likely buy the Libra token the same way this guy claims he is buying. He bought XRP in hopes that he was purchasing an investment in Ripple in some sort of way, which XRP is not Ripple stock, while the Libra token is not Facebook stock either. So is Facebook going to have the same kind of problems? Possibly. The new IMF blog considers the pros and cons of adoption of stablecoins. So the IMF just recently released a new blog, the benefits and risks and regulatory issues. The IMF said that banks could lose their role as intermediaries as the public would switch to stablecoin providers. However, it predicted banks would not disappear because they will likely try to compete by developing their own innovations. The blog further states that new monopolies represented by tech giants could evolve. So guys, Facebook, Apple, Google, and maybe even Ripple. As such, tech companies could use their networks to sidestep rivals and monetize data. So in this particular case, they're talking about data. And so who has your data? All those companies that I just mentioned, minus Ripple, of course. But you know, the Apples, the Googles of the world, the Facebooks of the world. Data is the new currency in the 21st century. Among other implications, the IMF said policymakers need to reinforce consumer protection and financial stability and confront the risk of losing seniorage. In countries subject to inflationary changes, stablecoins in foreign currency could replace local currencies, the blog noted, which would subsequently undermine monetary policies and financial development. So we've heard this argument before. The fact that a stable coin could be transnational, and not so much for the Western world, but in developing countries where, you know, their currencies are essentially worthless. Will these stable coins be a solution, but could they also harm the economies of those types of countries? Some very interesting points from this new IMF blog, guys. I will link it in the description. And here, Ripple reveals list of xRapid clients, says 2 new banks are joining RippleNet. So guys, another 2 banks to join the laundry list of banks that are currently partnered with Ripple. Ripple is launching a new push to promote its XRP-powered international payment solution, xRapid. The company has released a new document to showcase how the digital assets can benefit banks and financial institutions. It includes the first definitive list of clients that are actively using xRapid: MoneyGram, TransferGo, Instarem, SendFriend, Mercury FX, and GoLance. Have we heard of GoLance? I don't think I've heard of it, but maybe I have and I'd just forgotten. The document positions XRP as a digital asset that can provide instant liquidity, allowing institutions to free up capital. So in total, Ripple says more than 20 clients have already integrated or plan to utilize xRapid. So 20 clients already planning to use xRapid. Here are 6 right here, but also revealing 2 new banks, which include Peru-based Interbank and the UK-based Vitesse are now on board. So it links to Ripple's website here, and you can see who runs on Ripple. Here are some more. Some of these guys we already know, obviously. Some of them, you know, there are so many at this point that it's hard to keep them all straight in my brain. But that's okay. That's a good problem to have. I have a feeling Brad Garlinghouse has even stumbled on some of the names of the partnered companies that Ripple is partnered with. Anyways, guys, there's some amazing things happening in the space. If you don't have your XRP community poster yet, you can order it from Status. Anyways, I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.